Hello Ironheart family, welcome back for round 3. Before I begin, there's a Who is Ironheart video that I'm working on, much like in the style of the X-Men video, which I'll put a link to at the end. I'm just holding off on it. It's all saved up in the laptop, but before I post it, I want to wait for the stories to be told because there's going to be a lot of backstories and flashbacks, it looks like, with this run. So I'll just hold it off a little bit longer and I'll let you know. By issue number 4 review, you'll have an update. So again, we start with a flashback of 2 years ago. It's Riri's graduation, high school graduation. As she's taking photos, we see Deja Hamilton pop up in the background. They ask her, "Who are you?" She says, "Oh, this is my girl from high school." She didn't get to graduate though because she has some family circumstances. Some character progression in one speech bubble. Awesome. And then mom goes on to her shoulder and says, you know, it's all good, it's all love. You have to take care of your stuff at home. And she commends her for it. So it's very nice and sincere and sweet. Next page we go to, it looks like the Iron Man 3 scene where Tony was taking the crime scenes and looking for people who have exploded. Remember that scene?
I've compiled a Mandarin database for you, sir. Drawn from SHIELD, FBI, and CIA intercepts. Initiating virtual crime scene reconstruction.
Okay. What do we got here?
Xavier comes in the room and she just says, "Hey Xavier." So it looks like they're like this. I thought Riri was an isolationalist kind of character, but no, she's got Deja. She's friends with Xavier, friends with Natalie, who she befriended. Unfortunately, her friends are dying or getting kidnapped, but you know, she made friends with the champions, took an issue, but she's there, she got there. Remember the scene where she makes friends with Amadeus Cho Hulk? Hilarious. So he helps her out with this, with finding victims. I didn't like that he kind of outsmarted her. In the previous issue, her mom gave her a suggestion while they were watching the news. That's cool. This is straight up, Riri didn't think of anything, and she's a super genius. I need her to be smart. Riri's mom comes downstairs, talks her down. Very funny the way that the mom acts. But in this speech we see that her artificial intelligence is at school while she is at home working on all this. And mom's name is Ronnie. I like that. See, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. If the writer e-viewing is going to devote 2 pages to flashback and then give her names to our characters that we didn't know, I'm just going to hold off on that Who is Ironheart review. So check this out. 2 hours later, they're still trying to figure things out. And maybe there's some sort of pattern. Maybe the people who are stealing phones are the same race. What do we know about that? Nah, there's no pattern. Neighborhood? Totally random. Then when it's time to get dinner, they say the word working, and Riri, click, yeah, what about the people where they work? So every victim is associated or works for a politician. This is the pattern and the connection that they finally got to 2 hours later. Okay, good job, Super Genius. Now this page, Riri gets called from mom. It's Deja, she's on the news. And I realized that I cared. The last thing I said at the end of the issue number 2 review was I don't care about Deja Hamilton, it wasn't impactful. This is when I realized, look, based off that flashback scene earlier where she says that she's taking care of her mom and had to drop school, it's like, you know what, I'm invested in this character. Because of this page turn moment, we gotta actually take our fingers and turn. That's something that the comic book media has over TV and movies. And yeah, if you're watching something on your computer, you can always press pause and then play it, but that doesn't actually happen. This controls the amount of suspense you want to have. So I was reading digitally when I first got the book, like at 3 a.m. Eastern, but I was like, oh my god, I care. Now I'm gonna read this page again, I'm gonna let it sink in, and then you get to turn the page, which is awesome. So I get to see Deja, she's on the news, and she's alive. She is saying, I tripped over a branch on the wooden area. She says that she felt stress and anxiety and that's why she ran away. BS. Ironheart knows it. And I look at the picture of her eyes with the hearts. Really cool, really cartoony. It's a comic book, I'll take that. So then she turns into Batman. She comes to the place that it's a sealed window. So I think she's at a hospital. It's a hospital, I can tell. So Deja wants none of it. She tells Riri that she's got survivor's guilt. And so Riri looks down and says, oh, look at those shoes. I didn't know what to think of it, but she made a comment about the retro fly girl 8s. Okay, whatever that means. Is where I was, and then when Riri leaves the room, we see that the ninja dude says, I knew this would happen. And he says that you told me that if I let you go, her interest would wane, and you were wrong. Deja wasn't being an asshole, she's trying to protect Riri still. Good little connection. I love how every time another character in this comic is talking, it's to put over Riri. Everything enhances Ironheart. It's an Ironheart book. This isn't no team book. This is a solo series, and it's doing rehab. It's doing not rehab, but it's building, constructing this character. Amazing Spider-Man's another solo series that doesn't do this. Like, if you're reading it, Jameson, the J. Jonah Jameson, you know who he is. That dude is like getting heavily focused on. Aunt May, Mary Jane gets some love too. Like, they can afford to do that for Peter Parker. He's a well-established character. But Riri, these are the building blocks of her stuff. This is only her third Legacy 23rd, like I said, issue. So writer is really focusing on where focus needs to be focused on. And I like it. So, Deja, who were you talking to? The nurse comes in the room, and Riri bugged those shoes. See, I was thinking that those shoes were only there for the culture. It wasn't there for the culture. That shoe was bugged. The next part was the best part of the book. It's the fight scene. A lot of high ups and downs. Buy the book. Purchase this book for this fight scene. It's really cool the way he uses her powers and she uses her powers. It goes on for about 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of fighting. Just solid fighting. She finds out who the dude is because of his fingerprints, and his name is Midnight's Fire, a master thief, expert martial artist, magical ability, super agility, blah blah blah. As she's doing this, he comes over and look at this flashback. She has a flashback to the Thanos scene, the most important moment of this Ironheart's young career. I loved it. The art on this, it's so good. It's fantastic, and it looks like she has a little moment with dead Natalie. Come back to me, girl. Come on. And she kind of wakes up. But that artwork, man, that's great stuff. And she headbutts the dude, and she wins this battle in the greatest way. Look, first of all, the artwork I'm talking about. Look at the Star Wars advertisement compared to this. Apples to oranges. Luciano Vicejo. Argentina. So, Expecto Patronum, she shoots a big beam at him and wins this battle. Great. Loved this book. I'm just looking at it like, why can't all writers do this? Like, it's like Jason Aaron, Eve Ewing, and then the rest of them. Like, this is great stuff. And I know the writer of this book is getting Ms. Marvel and Spider-Man team up. I don't know if it's a limited series or not, but like, damn. She does a great job here writing this book. We closed the book on a lull. She's arguing back and forth with Natalie. Natalie says that you stormed out of the house looking for trouble. You know, you're not being responsible at all. You want your mom to worry about you trying to get killed. And saying all this important stuff that needs to be said. Remember, she downloaded Natalie from her own memories, so everything that she's saying is accurate. This is what Natalie would say in Riri's head. Riri says, deactivate. She deactivates the AI. You see her take the helmet off, and she's crying. Very sad ending, very emotional. I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed the first, which is why it's getting a 10! This book was objectively great. I don't know what's happening. Ironheart's the best superhero in Marvel Comics right now, solo superhero. Better than Spider-Man's doing, better than X-Men are doing. This is amazing. It's Riri Williams. We need to add an adjective to her. Comment section, what is she? There's a magnificent Ms. Marvel, amazing Spider-Man. She is something, Ironheart. This is some fantastic writing by this writer, Dr. Eve Ewing. I'm gonna give the nod to the artist though. It's the art and the writing. Oh my god, man. Chillmonger is a fan of this comic. The memory card filled up just as I was finishing my outro. A lot of videos I do here that you're gonna check out because I will have links to them. Reviews, I react, communicate, enumerate, elucidate, exaggerate, indicate, and explicate, bloviate, and overstate, hyperventilate. To reiterate, my name's Chillmonger.